think is the fundamental problem. I think we all agree that fundamentally a monopoly is a problem. However, we're in a unique situation, sir, and I think that if we're going to address this, you can license, you have the power to license whoever to be a collective society, you know, through NCC or whatever. However, the problem that needs to be addressed is that of technology, is that of transparency and compliance. And if you're going to license multiple societies, then please find a way to help us enforce the technology. I mean, I disagree with the guy from the hotel industry that said they are suffering. The people that are suffering in this country are artists. You are only as good as your last hit song. We have an entire industry that survives off of shows. In America, in the UK, we have places, if you write a hit song like African Queen or Gongwaso, and you're a producer or you're a writer, you're getting royalties for the rest of your life. In Nigeria, you're as good as your last hit song. And I say this, and I know all artists in this room agree with me. So, sir, please, if we're going to license everybody, I think the issue, people are saying there should be one, because there's such a problem getting radio stations and hotels and institutions and TV stations to pay, because they collect all of this advertising revenue using our content, but to get them to comply and to actually pay, I mean, we just had the first, I think it was 100 million that was distributed, and I didn't receive a whole lot, and I felt like personally I should have gotten more, but it was a step in the right direction for me. And I think that's the key. I think if you are going to license more than one organization, please help us implement technology so that these organizations, there will be no argument that MCSN collected money on Wizkid's behalf or Banky W's behalf or Two-Face, or that Kosan collected money on anybody's behalf. Help us get our industry right. Help us implement the structure so that we don't have these problems. We're all brothers. We're all fighting for the same thing, which is that at the end of the day, let our children's children benefit from what we've given to this country. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. One issue of the technology. I think we can run away from that, because the ultimate people that we all should be working for is actually the artists, because they are the one that have this intellect that we want to protect and then encourage Nigerians to come forward. Until you protect that, you are not likely to get encouragement from the upcoming artists. Please go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, sir, distinguished invited guests, mine is just a kind of a general question. We have seen, from what Honorable Shagari has told us, that let me call them just groupings, that he has 5, in Britain, in UK, and only 5 in US. If Togo and Ghana are not examples that we can go by, as somebody has said, but I feel that even Ghana is a good example. Whatever they do, they are better than us, in actual fact, in certain areas. Anyway, that is not the issue. My question is, with this august assembly that of all of you different shapes in different areas of the art, if we go by best practices and we want to copy the best practices, which cannot go beyond Britain and US, can we do a grouping of not more than 5 in Nigeria? Is this acceptable? That we can fit into at least groups of 5. Well, then that's what we can.
Thank you very much. I will now yield the floor to the.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I would. There are quite a few things that have been said about the bias on the part of the NCC in registering just one society. I have to add that I've had 4 predecessors, and none of those predecessors have deemed it fit to approve MCSN as a collecting society. And in fact, let me land. In fact, the person, my predecessor, the one before me, who actually approved the COSON, was acted as a solicitor for MCSN for years. But when he became the DG, that's not the point. You're missing the point here. You're missing the point. You're missing the point. Okay, he in his wisdom,
Your mic for 1 minute.
Please.
and in addition to that, as I was saying, Mr. Adewopo, my immediate predecessor, in his wisdom, having worked with MCSN for so many years as their solicitor, still felt COSON was the most suitable organization to be approved as a collecting society. That speaks a lot for the Musical Copyright Society of Nigeria. It's a vote of no confidence in them, even by the guy who acted as the solicitors for so long. And there have been all the different attorneys general have, for so many years, have also not deemed it fit to approve the Musical Copyright Society of Nigeria as a collecting society. I'm not sure those intelligent people, including my predecessors and the attorneys generals of this country, all of them were stupid enough to have approved COSON as a collecting society. It begs the question, why did none of them consider it important or consider MCSN suitable or fit and proper to operate as a collecting society? As it stands, the law remains the law, and no Nigerian, no organization is above that law. The NCC cannot, under the law, approve more than one society as it currently stands, until it is satisfied that a current society no longer satisfies the interest of its members. The law is quite clear. And we're not going to go into the merits of the law, because that's obviously subject of court matters, and the court will ultimately provide the appropriate interpretation for that particular section of the law. But as it stands, our interpretation, I'm sure most lawyers, most intelligent lawyers, I'm a lawyer myself, I can't see any other interpretation being given to that particular provision of the law. It's so clear. And a lot has been said as well about conflict issues. There were members or staff of NCC that were mentioned in relation to their role in obviously being members of PMRS. And I would like those particular members of staff, give them 5 minutes to clear or to set the record straight on those particular issues. And I would like to call upon Mr. John Asen to actually set the record straight. Please.
The issue here is that we have heard from both sides, and you have made lots of submissions. I think, Mr. Chairman, honorable colleagues, it will be good for us to adjourn at this moment, go and study what you have said, and listen, bear in mind your submissions. And if it is good, if it is okay by this chairman and honorable colleagues, we come back here Tuesday, and then we address the salient issues. Then we can conclusively find a way forward in this matter. That is my humble submission. You will still have time to address the other issues, probably.
Mr. Asen.
Without them mentioning, can you summarize their own, they're your staff. Can you just, so that if we need elaboration, then we'll call them. What is the gravamen of all the issues stated about?
I think he's in a better position. These are historical issues, and he's in a better position to respond to that particular allegation. Obviously, he's in a much better position to do so.
They might do that. I'm not mentioned. Or has any of them been members of staff or serve as director of NCC? Any of those names mentioned? I'm now asking you as a DG. Of NCC.
The names, which
names that were mentioned? we mentioned, I have the name of Ebenezer Obey, I have the name of, Tony Okoroji, and are they at any point in time members of NCC or director or holding directorships of NCC?
No, the answer is no, Mr. Chairman. Let me just mention that we've had about 5 chairmen of our board, okay, and none of them were at any point a member of COSON, apart from Chief Ebenezer Obey. Yeah, but you said all of them. You're asking whether it's all of them.
So you are saying none of your staff or members of your director has ever been a member of COSON or PMRS?
I said the chairman of the NCC Council board at some stage, Ebenezer Obey was actually a member of COSON.
And I am now asking, he is the only person that
chairman.
You know, no, not chairman. He is the only person being a member or former member of NCC, a director, former member of NCC that has ever been a member of COSON or MPRS. That's what. If you don't have the answer, you can come back late some other time so that you do your investigation.
That's what I was saying. It's a lot easier for Mr. Asane.
Okay, so you provide that information.
Okay.
How soon can you provide that information?
But Mr. Asane is here to clear the air, Mr. Chairman. That's what I'm saying. Why don't we just give him an opportunity?
No, we're not accepting that. My chairman has ruled. When are you providing the information? And the information the committee wants is to tell us that whether there has been or has not been, and I'm very clear about it, and it's being recorded. This joint committee wants information.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, the answer is no.
I'm coming. Let me come. This joint committee wants information of former members of staff of NCC, directors or former directors of NCC who have at one point in time or the other been members of COSON or members of PMRS. And I was saying, when do we have that information?
You can have that information tomorrow, Mr. Chairman.
By tomorrow. The committee will be in receipt of that information by tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay. I mentioned, a lot has been mentioned about monopoly, and the business of collecting society doesn't actually lend itself to the principles of competition. It's not a business. It's not a business. It's not a profit-making. It's not a profit-making organization like telecoms, the banking industry. So it doesn't quite lend itself to those principles of competition. So the whole idea of talking about monopoly does not really arise here, because there are certain businesses, as I said, like telecoms, banking, that lends itself to that sort of principles of competition. But that's not the case with the business of collecting society. Because as a lot of people rightly pointed out, Mr. Chairman, we can have so many rights in music owned by different people. And for administrative reasons, it would be easier to house those rights in one society rather than having a multiplicity of societies.
Even with the benefit of technology?
Yeah. Even then, Mr. Chairman, yes, I think it's still easier for those rights to be housed in one place, even with the benefit of technology. Even with the benefit of technology, Mr. Chairman. It's like that in most African countries anyway. We've got a list of African countries that have... There's a long list of African countries. Who are they? There's a long... in South Africa, in Congo, Guinea, Morocco.
No, but we have evidence that in South Africa it's not one. There's no monopoly. Pardon?
No. It's only South Africa that we have two, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, DG, maybe you should round up so that we can...
Yes, okay, Mr. Chairman, in rounding up... Mr. Chairman, in rounding up, I have to obviously emphasize again that...
No, he has my protection. Please round up.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I have to emphasize again that the NCC is a law-abiding organization. The law that governs the NCC is quite clear on the issue of collecting societies. We have the right to approve or not to approve any organization applying for registration. And the law is what it is, and I think no organization or person can continue to break the law without penalty.
Yes.
Without penalty, they just cannot continue to break the law.
We are with you on that.
That's right.
The NCC has the power to license.
Correct.
And you cannot
Use this.
I actually have sympathy for the present DG, because most of these things happened when he was living anywhere around Nigeria. The last DG that he mentioned, Mr. Adewopo, there was an occasion where we met with Adewopo, MCSN, PMRS.
You didn't tell us your name and the organization.
My name is George Dureke. I'm an engineer and I'm a member of MCSN. There was an opportunity we had in the AG's office. MCSN was there, PMRS, COSON was there, and then there was an issue